Elie Wiesel was 15 when he was taken to Auschwitz. He's a survivor of the Holocaust, and he helps the world today in their many tragedies. Hello, sir. So nice to meet you. Welcome, and I'm so glad you could make it.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
You are a very extraordinary man, surviving the Holocaust and taking a stand in our community today. I've also read your book, Night. Let me just say, what an extraordinary novel.
Yes, thank you very much. I really want people to know the reality of this cruel event.
Do you mind sharing some of your thoughts about the Holocaust and just your life in general?
To be honest, it's a very gentle topic to me, considering, as you know, my father, my mom, and my youngest sister died in the camps during the Holocaust. I don't particularly like speaking of it, but I must say that I do not have hate towards the people who did this. I'm just grateful to be alive at this very moment in time. I'm grateful for all the people living and surviving the Holocaust at my side.
You don't have hate towards the people after they were so cruel and killed a large portion of your family?
No, this question I get asked very frequently. All I can say is that when a person doesn't have gratitude, something is missing in his or her humanity. I had anger at times, but never hate. And after the war, I thought hate would be to reduce myself.
To experience this cruel event, you are more likely to be grateful for ordinary things.
I'm grateful every time I meet someone and see their smile. In my book, Night, I wrote about the times when I hated the soldiers. I wrote it, but I didn't really mean it. I just felt terribly angry and humiliated.
Do you have hate towards Germans today?
I do not hate them, but their ancestors who were the killers. They deserve my affection and my effort to make them more human.
What makes you angriest in this event?
Certainly the killing of the children, or even the humiliation of them. That is the worst sin. In my tradition, humiliation is equivalent to murder.
Yes. How did you not lose your mind in those brutal camps?
I honestly don't know. I wonder that very often.
Wow. Let me ask you the question. Do you remember the day you were released from the camp?
Yes, I do, very well. It was April 11th, 1945, when the Americans were close by. Many Jews were evacuated and killed. I was in a children's block, so I was left until the end. I have no explanation how I survived the camps.
Thank you very much. That is all the time I have.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye.
The children of killers are not killers, but children, and they deserve my efforts, my affection to make them human, and to give them a world that is worthy of them. Yes, they need hate to fear superior. In these quotes, Elie Wiesel talks about how he came out of camps without hatred for the Nazis, but only the feeling of needing to help their humanity. Elie Wiesel obsessed with defining humanity in every person, killer or child. He believes the Nazis were missing part of the humanity, and the only way to fix that was to believe in help. Elie Wiesel's goals are along the lines of spreading the true events of the Holocaust and proving what a strong hatred for a certain race of people and a lack of humanity can do to our nation and our world. Elie Wiesel is traveling the world today, helping refugees and victims of tragedy. When I needed people to come, they didn't. That's why I'm here, he says.
April 11th, 1945. Elie Wiesel and his children's block were released from the concentration camps. The Americans were growing closer and the Jews had to be evacuated. Most were killed upon leaving.
The first thing we did after we left was to say a prayer for the dead. Assuming that my family had perished, I left to France to live in an orphanage. By surprise, I met up with my older sister Hilda in Paris not much later. It was almost a year before I met my other sister again.
Elie Wiesel went on to become a journalist in France. After he was done with journalism, he began to write these novels.
Many people appreciate Elie Wiesel's contribution around the world, but some, like the situation in 2007 where he got kidnapped and his hotel room was sent to death, show that some people don't appreciate it.
56, he was struck by a taxi in New York and was hospitalized for months.
He won many awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize in 1986, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the Grand Croix of French Legion of Honor.
President Carter named Wiesel to chair the President's Commission on the Holocaust. He also recommended the creation of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum.